Ethan Wong feigned amnesia to save me, and I gave up going home to stay in the mission world to take care of him. But in the 3rd year of staying in the mission world, he suddenly drove his car and sent me flying. Then, holding his white moonlight's hand, he said to me, "I've finally waited for this day. As long as you die, Yvonne and I can replace your role as a player and live forever." Only then did I realize that he had been pretending to be stupid, plotting to steal the system. But he didn't know that I had been enduring the system's punishments. I said to the system, "There are new hosts willing to replace me, and there are 2 of them. Can you let me go?" "So you've been pretending to be stupid all along?" I lay in a pool of blood, looking at Ethan Wong in disbelief. He held Yvonne in his arms, his dark pupils filled with coldness. "That's right. How else could I make you feel sorry for me and stay? But I still have to thank you for telling me about the system, otherwise, I wouldn't have known how to save Yvonne." Yvonne shrunk in his arms, her face pale. She was Ethan Wong's first love, and she had leukemia and had been fighting cancer. Ethan Wong once told me, "Her illness has nothing to do with me. We broke up a long time ago." But now I know that he started planning 3 years ago to save her. My body suddenly started to ache as if it were being torn apart, but this wasn't from the car accident. It was the system punishing me because I had been trying to win Ethan Wong's heart. If he didn't love me, I would be punished. It hurts. I couldn't help but cry out. I had experienced the pain of being torn apart limb from limb many times, but I still couldn't get used to it. "Does it hurt that much?" Ethan Wong looked at me. "Aren't you players able to just ask the system to remove the pain?" His indifferent appearance reminded me of the happy times I had with him. Back then, he only had eyes for me. I thought I had found true love, so I told him about the system. But I didn't tell him I would be punished because I was afraid he would worry. The pain continued to intensify, and my teeth were about to break. "Don't say anything more." Every word he said caused me unbearable pain. Yvonne suddenly walked over and took my hand. "Yvonne, does it really hurt that much?" "Ethan, how about we don't pursue immortality? I don't mind dying." "No way." Ethan Wong immediately denied, looking at her with heartache. "Yvonne, you're different from her. She's a player. Even if she dies, she can return to her original world. But if you die, you'll really be gone. You don't have to feel sorry for her." Yvonne looked at me triumphantly where Ethan Wong couldn't see, then whispered, "You know, I told Ethan Wong that as long as he says he doesn't love you, you'll be in a lot of pain. He's been saying it ever since he found out. He doesn't love you. He only loves me. After all, I'm the female lead of this world." As soon as she finished speaking, Ethan Wong hugged her. Ethan Wong looked at her, his eyes especially gentle. "I've already bought the Oak Hill estate as our future marital home. I once told Ethan Wong that I had no parents or home in my original world, and my only wish was to have a home. So he bought me a villa, this Oak Hill estate. I put a lot of effort into decorating it, and I finally waited until this year to move in. But now he wants me to die." My hand fell to the ground, and I said to the system, "I've finally found new hosts, and there are 2 of them. Can you let me go?" "Ethan Wong, you actually don't want me anymore. Then I can only not want you anymore either." "Okay." Sensing a new host taking over the system. "Host, are you sure you want to transfer me to these 2 people?" Listening to the system's voice, I looked at Ethan Wong and Yvonne. The 2 were kissing while embracing, with fireworks celebrating them in the background. In a daze, I saw Ethan Wong's silly appearance from the past. He said, "Jay. Oh, thank you for being with me. I love you." He would also warm cocoa for me every day, and he would wash my dirty underwear when I had my period. No one had ever loved me like that before, and I thought he was someone I could rely on for the rest of my life. But I was wrong. I'm sure, I said bitterly in my heart. Okay, host, I will begin the transfer. Why hasn't the system appeared yet? Yvonne suddenly said. Ethan Wang explained to her, Joanne is probably communicating with it. Just wait. She always spaces out when she communicates with the system. Hello, two hosts. The system's voice was broadcasted, and it wasn't just me who could hear it. From today onwards, you will become my new hosts. Please choose your target. I choose Yvonne Yi. I choose Ethan Wang. The two of them spoke at the same time, their determined appearances making them seem very loving. I suddenly remembered when Ethan Wang was stupid, he said to me, no matter what, I will always firmly choose Joe. But now, he chose someone else. Okay, but because the transfer will take 3 days, you must wait. Then the system disappeared and said to me alone, you can only leave in 3 days. I will heal your car accident injuries so you can say goodbye to your loved ones here. As soon as it finished speaking, the wounds on my body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ethan Wang exclaimed in surprise, look, Yvonne, I told you she could get the system to restore her body. The system is really great. We can be like this in the future, without fear of injury or death. I got up and looked at Ethan Wang in disappointment. But he didn't know that the system wasn't that good. I went to the hospital to see my grandfather. In this world, besides Ethan Wang, my grandfather was my only family. He was very, very good to me. He would give me all his savings to buy a car with Ethan Wang. He would also save the things he couldn't bear to eat for me. At the hospital, I ran into Ethan Wang Ji and Yvonne Yi. They were holding hands, and Ethan Wang was holding a pregnancy test card. This is great, Yvonne. I'm going to be a dad. These words were like a sword piercing through my heart. I once wanted to have a child with Ethan Wang. At that time, he was still stupid. He told me, I don't want children. Children are too annoying. I thought he was just talking nonsense because he was stupid. Looking back now, I realized he was telling the truth. He didn't want to have children with me, but he was willing to have them with Yvonne Yi. He even hooked up with Yvonne while he was with me. Host, the punishment device has now been removed for you. In the future, you will no longer be punished because of the emotions of the target. As soon as the system finished speaking, I felt a sense of relief all over my body. I could finally be free from restraint. I could live freely. This was pretty good too. My grandfather saw me and handed me a box of dumplings. He looked at me kindly. The nurse gave them to me. Joe, you eat them. Tears welled up in my eyes. If I left this world, what would happen to my grandfather in the future? I had to leave him a way out. So I immediately wanted to go home to get money. I used to live with Ethan Wang, and all my belongings were in his house. As soon as I got home, I ran into the housekeeper carrying my things out. Seeing me, she hurriedly said, Madam, the master asked me to throw your things away. He said, you won't be coming back to live here anymore. I glanced at my things, and they were all broken, including the plaster figurines that Ethan Wang and I had made together. I didn't expect him to be so heartless. But my money was still on his card, and I had to get it back. So I wanted to open the door and go in, but it said the password was incorrect. The housekeeper said awkwardly, the master also asked me to change the password. My heart felt like it had been stabbed by something, and I tried to control my breathing. Then, what's the current password? The housekeeper looked afraid to say it, so I said, my things are still inside. I need to go in and get them. 08122018, August 12, 2018, the day Ethan Wang and Yvonne Yi were together. I took 2 steps back and felt ridiculous. Yesterday he was still hugging me in bed and saying he loved me. This morning, he tricked me into going to a deserted road, saying he wanted to give me a surprise. He even blindfolded me after I got out of the car. I was full of joy, expecting his surprise, but I was brutally hit. Ethan Wang, you wanted me to die so badly, to steal my player identity. But do you even know how difficult it is to be a player? I pushed the door open and went in. Ethan Wang was pressing Yvonne Yi against the bar counter, his face full of love. Yvonne, I will love you well in the future. With a clatter, the bag in my hand fell to the ground. Even though I had decided to let him go, I still felt sad seeing him doing this with someone else. What are you doing here? Ethan Wang looked at me unhappily. You're not welcome here. His cold appearance suddenly reminded me of 3 years ago when I violated the system for him. The system punished me to experience the pain of broken bones. I wanted to die from the pain at that time, but I persevered for him. I thought I would be with him forever in the mission world. But now I know I was wrong. I'm here to get money. The money I've earned over the years is all with you. I need it to treat my grandfather. Ethan Wang didn't stop what he was doing when he heard my words. Instead, he pretended not to hear and continued to squeeze Yvonne's waist. I felt disgusted and wanted to vomit, but I tried my best to endure it. I'll be able to leave soon anyway. Then I'll go get it myself. I was about to go into the room when Yvonne stopped me. Yvonne, isn't your grandfather better? Why do you still need money? You don't want to take the money back to your original world, do you? As soon as she said this, Ethan Wang's cold eyes swept over. You love money that much? Let me tell you, even if you earned it, I won't give it to you. This money belongs to this world. You can't take it away. I didn't expect him to become so shameless. The Ethan Wang who loved me and treated me well was really gone. Ethan Wang, I said I'm using it for my grandfather. I won't take a cent away. I can't give it to you. Get out! I clenched my fists, wanting to say something, but I didn't know what to say. He would only believe Yvonne's words anyway. I turned around to leave, but Yvonne suddenly grabbed my hand. Yvonne, don't go. If you really need money, I'll lend it to you. As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly sat down on the ground and hit her head hard on the coffee table next to her. Aw, that hurts. Bang! Ethan Wang pushed me away without even thinking. I was pushed against the tea bar, which was knocked over. The hot water inside spilled all over me. I exclaimed in shock from the burn. Joanne Chow, why did you push Yvonne? Ethan Wang looked at me angrily. If you're angry, take it out on me. Don't take it out on Yvonne. He kept calling her Yvonne, which grated on my ears. Could he not see that I was scalded by the hot water? But I was too weak to explain anything. I just wanted to get the money and take care of my grandfather's affairs, then return to my original world. Ethan Wang, just give me $500,000. Give me $500,000, and I'll leave immediately, otherwise, I'll continue to bully your Yvonne. Joanne! He glared at me, his eyes like knives. He suddenly rushed over and grabbed my neck, squeezing the air out of my mouth with great force. Why do you have to be so vicious? Can't we just break up peacefully? I also want to break up peacefully, but you don't want to. I just want money. I struggled to speak. He threw me on the ground. Okay, I'll give it to you. But I have a condition. What? I asked him, coughing. Kneel down and kowtow to Yvonne as an apology. I was stunned. I didn't expect him to say that. I thought he still had at least a shred of affection for me. After all, we had been together for so many years. Okay. I responded to him, got up, and walked step by step to Yvonne and knelt down. I'm sorry, I said as I kowtowed. Suddenly, Ethan Wang pressed my head down hard on the ground, causing me to bite my tongue from the pain. You caused Yvonne to hit her head just now, so now we're even. Okay. Can you give me the money now? He took out the card and placed it on his shoe. Get over here and get it yourself. Okay. He was surprised to hear my response this time. He probably didn't expect me to agree to everything. After all, I used to be such a proud person. But I was about to leave soon, and I was willing to do anything for my grandfather. I crawled over, ready to take the card with my hand, but he suddenly grabbed my hand and said through gritted teeth, "Joanne Chow, you're so cheap for money." Tears fell uncontrollably. I suddenly remembered how ruthless he was when he hit me before. He didn't care about me anymore, and I didn't need to care about him anymore either. I picked up the card and got up. At this moment, I suddenly received a message that something had happened to my grandfather and he had been sent to the emergency room. I immediately wanted to run to the hospital, but Ethan Wong grabbed me. You think you can just leave after taking the money? There's no such thing as a free lunch. Stay here and be our housekeeper for a few days. Let go of me. I wanted to break free, but his grip on my hand was very tight. Ethan Wong, something happened to my grandfather. Let me go. That's ridiculous. You just got the money and said something happened to your grandfather and you need to leave. Joanne Chow, you're even using your grandfather to lie for money. I'm not. I was anxious. At this moment, the system suddenly spoke. The transfer system is ready ahead of schedule. You don't have to wait 3 days. Do you want to exchange now? Yes. I want to. I roared, startling Ethan Wong. Okay, starting the transfer. Countdown 1. What are you saying? Ethan Wong looked at me in confusion. 2. At this moment, all I felt for him was hatred. Ethan Wong, you want to steal my player identity. But I'm telling you, from this moment on, your nightmare is truly beginning. 3. Transfer complete. Hello, 2 hosts. The system has been successfully parasitized on you. Please complete your missions well in the future. Hearing this voice, Ethan Wong and Yvonne Yi were overjoyed, and I took the opportunity to leave. Sitting in the car, I kept thinking about the way I had been tortured by the system. I really didn't know how I had made it through. That feeling was so painful, so uncomfortable. But now, it had all been transferred to Ethan Wong and Yvonne Yi. As soon as I arrived at the hospital, I was notified that my grandfather had passed away. That box of dumplings was still beside his hospital bed. My body went limp and I collapsed to the ground. My mind was buzzing, and I felt like my movements were sluggish. I couldn't believe it, and I didn't want to believe that my grandfather was gone. I covered my mouth, and large tears streamed down my face. At this moment, Ethan Wong and Yvonne Yi walked over hand in hand, both of them looking extremely pleased. Now that we have the system, we'll never get old or get hurt again. Ethan Wong was especially happy. He looked just like he did when he told me he loved me. My heart ached to the extreme. I rushed up and grabbed his clothes. Ethan Wong, my grandfather is gone. If you hadn't kept dragging me down just now, he might have been saved, and I might have been able to see him one last time. You beast, it's all your fault. I vented all my emotions on him. He pushed me away, his eyes a little flustered, but he CKLY said, your grandfather died of his own illness. What does it have to do with me? I leaned against the wall and cried. Yvonne Yi walked over and handed me a tissue. As she approached me, she suddenly said, guess how your grandfather died? I was stunned. She continued, I had someone tell him that you were having an affair and Ethan Wong dumped you. He was so angry that he vomited blood on the spot. Her words were like bombs, exploding in my mind. My emotions could no longer be controlled. I slapped her hard across the face. Bitch, give me back my grandfather. Give him back to me. I started hitting her like crazy. Ethan Wong quickly came over and kicked me away. He anxiously hugged Yvonne, his face full of heartache. Yvonne, are you okay? I was kicked against the wall, and my stomach hurt badly. The man who used to only hug me was now hugging someone else. I finally had a relative, and now he was gone too. I was disheartened. Seeing the railing in front of me, I suddenly wanted to end it all. I walked step by step towards it. Just as I was about to jump down, Ethan Wong grabbed my hand. He looked at me in disbelief. Are you crazy? It's just that your grandfather is gone. Why are you being so extreme? I pushed him away. Ethan Wong, I really regret ever loving you. If I hadn't fallen in love with him, I wouldn't be suffering like this now, and I wouldn't have experienced all that pain. My grandfather in this world wouldn't have died either. I pushed Ethan Wong away and left the hospital to prepare for my grandfather's funeral. The system reminded me, the channel for leaving is still being established. I will tell you when you can leave. I couldn't believe this was the same ruthless system that had treated me that way. Actually, it was pretty good that Ethan Wong and Yvonne Yi had replaced my player identity. At least I didn't have to do missions that seemed to have no end, and I didn't have to accept punishments anymore. My grandfather's funeral was as simple. There were only white chrysanthemums and me. I knelt in front of his tombstone and kowtowed to him. Ethan Wong suddenly came, holding white chrysanthemums in his hand. Grandfather was pretty good to me. I came to see him. Looking at him like this, I scoffed, Ethan Wong, have you forgotten that you're a player now? As soon as I finished speaking, the flowers in his hand suddenly fell to the ground. He clutched his head and took several steps back. It hurts. What's wrong? I knew it was the system punishing him. This was just the beginning. I got up and looked at him coldly. You should go back to your Yvonne. I wanted to leave, but he grabbed my leg. Don't go. I have something to tell you. As he spoke, he took out a card from his bag. Your grandfather's death made me think about a lot of things. You helped me a lot in the past. This is a thank you fee for you. I didn't expect him to give me money voluntarily, but now money had no value to me. My grandfather was already dead, and I didn't like money anymore. I threw the card on the ground. I don't want it. Ethan Wong, don't come looking for me in the future either. His pupils constricted, his eyes full of shock. I turned around and left. As I walked out of the cemetery, I ran into Yvonne Yi. She had a proud look on her face. See? What if you're a player? The male lead was still snatched away by me. Joanne Chow, I can't beat you. I know I can't beat you. I said softly. How about this? I still have a few days before I leave. For the rest of the days, I'll be your housekeeper. Hearing this, she was incredulous. Do you know what you're saying? I know. I just want to take care of you well for the last time. Actually, I wanted to see them being tortured with my own eyes, so I could leave in peace. Are you out of your mind? Yvonne Yi looked disgusted. At this time, Ethan Wong walked over. Okay, he said to me. Since you want to be a housekeeper, then come. He didn't seem to be joking. I didn't know what he was thinking. I only knew that I wanted to see them being punished, so I agreed. Following them home, the first thing Yvonne Yi did was throw a pile of underwear at me. Go wash them clean, then dry them and bring them to Ethan and me. I knew she was deliberately trying to disgust me. But I didn't love Ethan Wong anymore, so she couldn't disgust me. I turned around and prepared to wash them clean, but Ethan Wong said coldly, how pathetic. You'll do whatever you're told. Where did your old temper go? I didn't know why he said that, and I was too lazy to pay attention to him, so I left. While washing the underwear, I could still hear the voices of the two of them in the room from time to time. I didn't feel anything in my heart. Ethan Wang, Yvonne Yi, just wait. One day you'll regret stealing my player identity. After drying the underwear, I brought it over. Ethan Wang was holding Yvonne Yi, looking very proud. The system just rewarded us with $100,000 because we were so successful in targeting each other. Joanne, I also have to thank you for telling us about this. Otherwise, I would never have known there was such a good thing as the system. I didn't say anything, just smiled. Good for you. I hope you won't regret it in the future. The next day, Ethan Wang took Yvonne Yi on a trip abroad, and he brought me along too. Now I just wanted to see them being punished, so I was happy to follow them. As soon as we arrived, Ethan Wang ordered me to buy condoms. I turned around to buy them, but he suddenly said, "Don't you mind me doing that kind of thing with Yvonne at all? You didn't used to. Why should I mind? Don't you not love me anymore?" I said these words without any emotion. His face darkened. "What I mean is, you used to like me so much, how could you stop loving me so quickly?" I laughed at his words. "If I hit you with a car and then got together with someone else, would you still love me? But you didn't really get hurt." But my heart was already hurt. Ethan Wang, I will never love you again in this lifetime. After buying the condoms and returning, Ethan Wang was saying gently to Yvonne Yi, "You go to the beach to take pictures first. I have a few buddies who want to see me, so I won't accompany you." As he spoke, he got up to take the condoms. But he suddenly fell hard to the ground, writhing in pain. "Ah, my head hurts so much." Yvonne Yi hurriedly stepped forward. "What's wrong, Ethan? Don't scare me." I stood next to them quietly, feeling very comfortable in my heart. These were all the pains I had experienced before. The system I encountered was especially strict. As long as Ethan Wang had the slightest behavior that didn't love me, I would be punished. One time he didn't accompany me to go shopping because he was busy with work, and I was also punished by the system. Over the years, I had been punished countless times. Every time it was so painful that I wanted to die. But for Ethan Wang, I endured again and again, and persisted again and again. And now, it was finally Ethan Wang's turn to experience my pain. Because of Yvonne Ye's proximity, Ethan Wang's pain disappeared again. They didn't know the system would be so strict, so they didn't know the system was punishing them. Ethan Wang breathed a sigh of relief. "I think I've been sick recently. I always suddenly have a headache. I have to go to the hospital and see a doctor." Yvonne Yi and Ethan Wang went to see a doctor, but they couldn't find anything. "Ethan Wang, this kind of pain has only just begun. Can't you take it already?" I thought of how much I had suffered in the past, and I wanted him to suffer even more than me. I wanted him to know how difficult it was for a player to love someone. How much effort I put in to love him back then. In the evening, there was a bonfire party on the beach. Yvonne Yi suddenly proposed to Ethan Wang with a bouquet of roses. Ethan Wang was shocked and hesitated to say yes. It was like he was thinking about something. I thought he must be very happy. Sure enough, he took the flowers the next second and agreed to Yvonne Yi. I didn't know if it was my illusion, but I could feel his eyes looking at me from time to time. What was he looking at me for? Did he want to know if I would be sad? Of course, I wouldn't be sad anymore, because I didn't love him anymore. At this time, the system told me, "You can leave at 8 o'clock tomorrow." Hearing this, I was inexplicably looking forward to going home. Although I had no relatives or home in that world, I had a group of good friends. It wasn't just love that could heal me in this world. I suddenly understood and happily drank a glass of wine. Ethan Wang suddenly walked over and looked at me coldly. "What are you thinking about that's making you so happy?" "Nothing." I thought he was being weird. I wanted to leave, but he kept following me. Joanne Chow, I want to say a few words to you. Before he could finish speaking, he suddenly fell to the ground and clutched his head, saying it hurt again. Yvonne Yi on the other side was just as painful, wanting to bang her head against the wall. Because she had just said a word to another man, she was punished by the system. They didn't know how strict the system was, so they wouldn't avoid these things. So they could only be punished. It started with a headache, and then there was the pain of being torn apart limb from limb. It hurts so much. What's going on? Ethan Wang struggled desperately. Looking at him, I suddenly chuckled. Ethan Wang, do you know that I actually have a secret I haven't told you? Wah, what? He struggled to speak, looking at me in pain. Although players won't die, they will be punished by the system if they commit violations. You mean I'm being punished by the system now? That's right. Impossible. Of course you'll think it's impossible. Did you think that as long as you're dating Yvonne Yi and as long as she doesn't say she doesn't love you, your mission is successful? I crouched next to him and said slowly, but you're wrong. The system will sense changes in your inner emotions. Once there is the slightest bit of not loving each other, or putting each other down to do other things, you will be punished. Every time you're punished, it will be very painful. That was why I wanted to escape the system in the first place, because it was too painful. As long as there was a slight imperfection, you would be punished. But the system required me to find a new host to replace me, and they had to be willing to do it. I never thought I'd find anyone in this lifetime, but Ethan Wang and Yvonne Yi were willing. No, impossible. Ethan Wang's eyes widened. The more he acted like that, the more the system would punish him. Ah, no, it hurts. He rolled around on the ground desperately. If it were before, I would have felt sorry for him, but now I felt nothing. I finally saw Ethan Wang and Yvonne Yi being punished. Thinking back to how smug they were, they must regret it now that they know the truth. In the early hours of the morning, Ethan Wang found me. He looked at me, pale and pathetic. Why didn't you tell me all this sooner? Because I loved you back then, so I didn't want you to worry. I never thought I'd end up being a tool for you to get revenge. Ethan Wang, I really didn't expect you to steal my identity as a strategist. He couldn't say anything. After a long silence, he looked up at me, his voice bitter. Is there any way to get rid of the system? I suddenly laughed. Can't stand the pain so soon? Do you know how many years I suffered because of you? And that day you hit me with your car, every word you said was making my punishment worse. You knew it, but you kept saying it on purpose. It's not like that. He shook his head, his face pale. I thought you'd only be in a little pain. I didn't expect it to be so painful. And I thought you had the system, so you'd be okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in so much pain back then. I was a little surprised. I didn't expect him to apologize to me. But I didn't want to forgive him. Joanne Chow, I beg you, tell me how to get rid of the system. I don't want to be bound by it, and I don't want to live forever. There's no way to get rid of it. I wouldn't tell him it could be transferred. I wanted him to suffer for the rest of his life. Ethan Wang, if you hadn't been selfish in the first place, you wouldn't be in this situation now. You said you wanted to save Yvonne Yi, but you were also doing it for yourself, weren't you? You also wanted to live forever. People can't control their selfishness when faced with something desirable. I used to think Ethan Wang was different from others, so I told him everything. I never thought I'd screw things up. I just wanted to live a good life. He looked guilty. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I've figured it out now. As long as you help me get rid of the system, how about we get back together? Joe, I won't betray you again, and we'll live happily like we used to. I was indeed happy with him before. I even fantasized about spending the rest of my life with him. But Ethan Wang, it's too late. I never thought about forgiving you, because I'll never forget the day you hit me with your car. I was lying in a pool of blood, and it hurt so much, but you didn't care. And when I asked you for money, you kept humiliating me. If you hadn't held me back, I might have been able to see Grandpa one last time. Ethan Wang, that's why I hate you. I'm leaving tomorrow, and we won't see each other again. No. I beg you, don't leave. He suddenly grabbed my hand and begged me. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I really regret deceiving you. After being with Yvonne Yi, I realized I wasn't that happy. WH. And she proposed to me. I actually wanted to refuse, but I was afraid of being punished by the system. I love you, Joe. As soon as he finished speaking, the system began to punish him. He lay on the ground, screaming desperately. System, don't punish me. I beg you. Ethan Wang, I've experienced this kind of pain countless times. Yours is just beginning. Take your time. You'll be in pain forever. That night, I didn't sleep. I just sat by the sea waiting for 8 o'clock to arrive. I thought Ethan Wang would accept the punishment and wouldn't dare to come looking for me. I didn't expect him to come again. I beg you, Joanne Chow, don't leave. Give me a chance. I'll love you properly. System, I want to change my target. I'm sorry, host. Once the target is determined, it cannot be changed. Damn system. Ethan Wang cursed. Looking at him, I suddenly felt he was quite pathetic. He would be bound by the system for the rest of his life. Ethan Wang, if you hadn't been selfish in the first place, I wouldn't have been able to get rid of the system. So I still have to thank you for stealing the system. Hearing my words, he was a little stunned, as if he was thinking about something. I knew what he was thinking. He was thinking about what he had said to me back then. He said it the same way. Joanne Chow, can I leave with you? He looked at me, his eyes full of hope. The system began to punish him again, but this time he didn't say a word. He just clenched his fists, gritted his teeth and said to me, I want to leave with you and make it up to you for the rest of my life. I really know I was wrong. Even if I can't get rid of the system, I still want to be with you. Ethan Wang, you don't think I'll be touched by this, do you? I laughed. You don't think I know you want me to help you find a way to get rid of the system, do you? I knew him too well. He thought that as long as he was good to me and made me LL in love with him, I wouldn't be willing to see him suffer. Ethan Wang, you might love me a little, otherwise the system wouldn't punish you. But your love isn't pure. Also, the system will follow you for the rest of your life. No. He roared. Joe, I only did that one thing wrong. I beg you to forgive me. Please. I looked at the time. It was only 2 minutes until 8 o'clock. The sunrise was already rising over the sea. Ethan Wang, I'm leaving soon. I'll say goodbye in advance. As soon as I finished speaking, Yvonne Yi came over again. She was also kneeling in front of me in pain. Joanne Chow, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have killed your grandfather. I shouldn't have stolen Ethan Wang. I was wrong. I beg you to help me get rid of the system. I'm in so much pain. Please. Ethan Wang heard everything she said, his eyes filled with shock. You said you killed Joanne Chow's grandfather? I just wanted to make Joanne Chow suffer, but I regret it. It hurts. Joanne Chow, help me. The two of them looked terrible, their faces were bloodless, and they looked very pitiful. But I couldn't be soft-hearted. I won't help any of you. One of you killed my grandfather, and the other betrayed me. I will never forgive you in this lifetime. From now on, you can torture each other in this world. As soon as I finished speaking, the system prompted me that I could go home. My body began to dissipate little by little. Ethan Wang's pupils dilated, and he pounced on me like a madman, begging me not to go. But all he touched was air. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in my original world. My friend was sending me messages, asking me to go out for hot pot tonight. I suddenly felt that life here was pretty good too. I should learn to forget the bad memories in life from before. After that, I started living a positive and optimistic life. I opened my own flower shop, arranged flowers every day, and met different customers. 2 years later, I actually ran into Ethan Wang coming to buy flowers. After 2 years of not seeing him, he had become as thin as a stick and looked particularly scary. I could recognize him because the necklace around his neck was one I had given him. Joe. He cried when he saw me. I used death to exchange with the system for this one chance to see you. His voice choked with regret. He took out a ring and handed it to me. I promised to marry you back then, and now I'm proposing to you. He knelt in front of me, his eyes full of sincerity and tenderness. I'm sorry, I don't know you, please leave. I pushed him out and closed the door. Through the glass door, tears streamed down his face as he said to me, Joe, I love you. I know I did too many things wrong. It was too late when I regretted it. I just thought you were a strategist and nothing would happen to you, so I hurt you unscrupulously. I'm sorry, I was wrong. If there's a next life, I'll definitely come and love you properly. After saying that, his body disappeared. I didn't know where he would go, and I didn't want to know. From now on, I just wanted to live my life well alone. Forget Ethan Wang, forget the system, forget the mission world. The future me is a brand new me.